We're going to be cooking one of my all-time favorites, stuffed pork chops with homemade bread stuffing. Let's get to it. Hey guys, it's Tom and welcome to another episode of Real Food. We're going to be cooking something special tonight, as we always do. Stuffed pork chops with homemade bread stuffing, which I got to tell you, I love stuffing. I only seem to eat it maybe once or twice a year, once being on Thanksgiving and then maybe throughout the year, one or two other times. I think it's something that should be eaten more than just once or twice a year. And I'm going to show you how to make my own special stuffing, and it's not really that much different than probably what you guys do, except for one ingredient. And then also we're going to make that stuffing and we're going to put it inside of a pork chop. Bread it and bake it in the oven. What's not to love? So let's get started, okay? First thing we want to do is we have our cast iron pan over there on the stove heating up to probably about medium heat. Let me just make sure I had it on a little bit earlier, so it's looking good. So first thing we want to start off with is some celery and some onions, okay? Which pretty much all stuffing has, okay? So let's just get in there like that. This is a little trick in case you guys are new to this. Little faster way to cut up your celery, if you would. Okay, so let's just go in there like that. Being very careful not to take off a finger. Something about just doing a show called chopping celery. Okay, so let's put that in the pan over here with the oil. You can hear it splattering already, which is a good thing. Got a half an onion here. We're going to add the onion to that. Okay, so let's chop up that onion. Get back in there. These things never seem to behave. Bad onion. Okay, so let's just cut some onions up here. If you like more, use more. Right now I'm just doing a half. And this is all goes to taste pretty much, okay? How much you like. With all the cooking, I mean, there are recipes. Recipes are kind of like, just to kind of get you going. And you know, I understand sometimes it's important to follow recipes because, well, without them we don't know where to start. But I always like taking a recipe and then kind of making it my own, whether adding an ingredient, adding more or less of an ingredient, whatever that may be. But you know, don't be afraid to make it your own, okay? Because I found a lot of times on the internet recipes, unfortunately, I don't know if the people don't make them ahead of time, but sometimes they don't turn out. Okay, so let's just put this in here like that. There you go. So we're just going to let that cook down a little bit while we do some other stuff here. Okay? Celery and onions. That's all there is to it. No need to season it, no need to really do anything at this point. Okay, so now the stuffing itself. Okay, so here's the thing. When I make stuffing, try to make a lot of stuffing, okay? Because, well, that's just the way it goes. And what I do throughout the year, and this is going to sound weird, but I actually save bread, okay? I save bread, and I throw it in a bag. You know, like when you buy bread, the ends, the heels, throw that in there. Sometimes you have one or two slices sitting around that maybe is not fresh and you go out and buy other bread. I throw it in the bag and it won't get moldy. I got to keep it out and keep it air so air circulates through there. Hamburger buns, hot dog buns. So you can see I have a wide array of different kinds of bread in here. So I'm not going to make all of this right now, but I will take a lot of it out. Okay. And the thing is, look, some hot dog buns. Okay. A hamburger bun. So I'm telling you, it's all in here. So break this up like that in pieces. And this is fun just doing this, okay? So break it all up. It's about that size piece, okay? That's good enough. That should be about good. So you can see, you can't even tell where the hot dog buns are and the hamburger buns are because they're all kind of broken up. What you can do now is add a little seasoning to it. Okay, so we'll do a little bit of pepper here. and a little bit of salt. You know, and if you want, you can add a little bit of poultry seasoning. Not really necessary. Around Thanksgiving, I add poultry seasoning because everything has to smell like poultry seasoning during the holidays. So I just do it more to entertain the guests rather than for the taste of things. Okay, so mix that all up there good. Now, normally if this was a Thanksgiving stuffing right now, what I would do is I would take the drippings from the turkey, and I would put that in here as the liquid, because you need some sort of liquid. Right now it's too hard. So I would use the turkey broth or the drippings from the turkey to put in here. Since we don't have a turkey, what I did is I actually have some chicken broth, which is fine. And you can use this as the liquid part of your stuffing, okay? So we're just going to do a little bit to start with, like that, just to get it moist, okay? What I add is cream corn. I know. I'm going to add just this much to start with, okay? Cream corn. So maybe what I should do is I'll use a spoon, keep my hands relatively clean here, okay? Just mix that all up like that. And you can see it's not looking too bad. And you know, I'm using a spoon, and normally I go in here with my hands, which I probably will at the very end, because sometimes that's really the best way to get stuff mixed together, you know. I know when you have people over, they don't want to see you going in the food, you know, full bore with your hands. Some people get grossed out about that, but you know what? The way I look at it is if you saw the way some people cook at their own homes when no one's around, you'd probably really be grossed out. So this is fine in my book. Okay, so this is getting pretty, the consistency we're looking for. Okay, let's check on our celery and onions. They're looking pretty good. You just want the onions to get a little translucent, okay? And the celery too. The celery probably takes a little bit longer to cook than the onions, but a good rule of thumb is, you know, if the onions are translucent, which they're pretty close right now, then they're almost ready to pull out of here. So maybe another minute or two. Okay, so we'll just finish this up here like that. And yeah, the consistency right now is pretty good. And you know what? If the bread is still a little crunchy, which this is a speck, it doesn't matter, because when you put it in the pork chops and you bake it in the oven, the juices from the pork chops will get into the stuffing, and it would almost be like a sponge and kind of swell up. Okay, so I think we're good here. So let's take our celery and onions, throw them right in there like that. Okay, and I think I'm getting crazy. I'm going to throw in the rest of the corn too. Okay, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? I know. Sometimes I even amaze myself. Okay, so there you have it. So this is step one of the whole stuffed pork chops process we have going on here. Okay? And that's good. So, we're going to let that sit for a couple minutes. Okay? Now, the star of the show is the pork chops. What you want to do, I always like the bone-in pork chops, and the thicker the better, because you're going to butterfly these things. Okay, so I got these. In fact, these are some of the thicker ones I've ever bought, but I think they're going to be perfect for this. Okay? These are the pork chops. Check these babies out. Okay? These are a good, I don't know, maybe an inch, 3/4 of an inch right there. I know guys seem to exaggerate a little bit, and they smell fresh. That's really all you need. So we're going to butterfly them, which means we're going to take it and we're going to cut it right along the middle there, all the way into the bone. Okay? So check it out. Make sure you get a sharp knife to do this too, because if you don't, you're not going to get a nice cut. And second of all, it's just not going to, there, that's perfect right there. Okay? Check it out. That's it. Butterfly pork chop. Let's do the other one. Now you can use no bone too. But when it comes to pork chops, I've always been a bone-in kind of guy, because having a bone in a pork chop is kind of like an extra special treat, okay? It's like you eat the pork chop and then you get to eat around the bone at the end. Okay, so you go. So there they are. Both of these done. So let's go ahead and we'll scoop this in here. Just put it right in the middle, like that, okay? Close it up. That's all there is to it, okay? So you can see that I will have way more stuffing left at the end of this, which is a good thing, okay? So we'll put that in there like that, okay? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the breading process right now. So we're going to take one of these, right in the flour, like that, okay? In the egg. Make sure you coat it well. If the stuffing falls out, just push it back in, okay? And then in the breadcrumbs. 1, 2, 3. Flour, egg, breadcrumbs. Okay, so let's gently put them in there. Okay, and you can see it's nice and hot already. I prefer cast iron whenever possible, just because they seem to hold the heat better. Okay, so there they are. That's all it is. Maybe I'll even turn up a little bit more, but you want to keep an eye on these, okay? Because they're not going to fully cook in this pan. This is just part of the process. We just want to brown them on both sides. So we're going to let that there. I'm going to let them cook for probably about 3-4 minutes on one side, flip them over, cook them there. I'm going to put them in this pan and then pop them in the oven for probably about a half an hour and then check on them. They should be done at that point, okay? Okay, so before I throw these in the oven, I just want to kind of let you see what it looked like. I just cooked them on both sides here. So they look really good, but they do need a little bit of time because they are so thick. Not so much because they were butterflied, but we want to, like I said, put them in the oven for like 400 degrees for maybe 30 minutes, maybe even a little bit less than that, but we'll find out for sure. So these are going to go in the oven right now. Okay, the timer just went off, so these should be about ready. It's been about 30 minutes. They're bubbling, so I think they're good to go. A good way to check is you can see like the stuffing here all kind of oozing out the sides, okay? So that's a good thing. So this is actually going to be my dinner tonight. So there's one. There's two. Man, I think we need a bigger boat. Okay, so let's look at these. There you go. Look at that. That is, you know what? I'll tell you, the best part, this part right here. The crunchy part of the stuffing. Muy delicioso. So, I have to cut into one of these just to see. Okay? I'm not going to take too much because, like I said, this is going to be my dinner. But you can see it's steaming right now. You see? So you can put gravy on these. I like eating them with applesauce. Applesauce is good, but this is very hot. But we're going to eat it anyway. Cooked perfect. There's a piece of the stuffing and the meat. Oh man. It's hot. But damn good. That is really good. Stuffing consistency is perfectly. The juices from the pork actually went in there and cooked the stuffing a little bit more. You can see. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, and happy cooking. Hey guys, it's Tom, and thanks so much for stopping by the Real Food YouTube channel. If you liked the video, just hit the like button down below, and also hit the subscribe and that little notification bell so you know next time we post a video. See you soon.